S&P, all we did was kind of just base out. Look how, if you were to follow the 9 EMA, how that just never broke. Again, we're just, pitching an EMA course right now. We know the sellers there, but we finally exhausted all that and pushed up. Kind of just more of a reason for you not to short until this does break. Albeit you guys did see me short the NASDAQ today. Expected moves, kind of nothing there. NASDAQ kind of shot up and really just based out. And then, so I told you guys, I went, gosh, where did I go short? Was it this one? I want to say I went short up here. I don't think it was that one. Maybe it was that one. One of these, it had popped down. I finally put my stop loss at just a little bit below break even. So I made literally a couple bucks on that one, and I'm glad I did, because it just eventually just kind of crept its way up. Still going, and honestly, that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I wonder if this is a buy the rumor, sell the news. Is this a giant volleyball spike? Everything I just told you about, just look at the 9 EMA. We've done nothing to get that. Now maybe we reverse all on the same day when Powell says, just 25 basis points. Who knows if that's even the excuse? And I want to bring this up because I've been harping on this a lot. I don't know if it has that much weight. It's just an excuse for a pivot point, if that does make sense. I know there's indicators out there called pivot points. I'm not talking about that, but just a part where the market pivots and we get the leg down. We finally see the break below and we kind of hang out below it for a little bit. So you'll probably see me again catch the knife again tomorrow. And I do. I told you guys I was going to go short just in case it is like a volleyball spike where they send it up and then drop it back down. But I'll play it just like I did today. As soon as when I'm green, I'm probably not going to give this a lot of time to be red. When I'm green, I'm going to put my stop at break even. It might mean I take 3 trades, still tag out, and it still breaks down. These have all panned out a million different ways. So that's just going to be my play there. Grandpa Dow, sold off, kind of holding that zone. Still looks like honestly a dip buy on that one. Nothing to really break down there. The Russell hanging out, still on that kind of grind up. I will say this: it's a shape that I hate a lot, but the ascending wedge, ascending triangle, some people really like it. Here's the breakup. We should probably go off of that. All right. In theory, this thing should break to the downside. If I were teaching that course on how this breaks, it should be to the downside. My OCD and just lack of being medicated means I have to make that touch. Right there at a zone, too. It's always interesting how that pans out. Anyway. People will have excuses as to why they knew it was coming, so I don't like this indicator. It'll break to the upside. They'll say they called it. It'll break to the downside. They obviously called it. But what do we have here? We do have higher lows. Okay. Now we do have higher highs, but not quite on that same momentum. And if we go to a smaller time frame, we could probably grab. I was thinking, should we grab candle bodies on that and kind of just bring that in? Maybe we should. Just to make it, clear. So that shows a readiness to sell your shares a little bit quicker. They're not willing. They're not quite as gung-ho each time. Now, the buy crowd just hasn't got the memo yet, so they're still buying. They're still telling their friends, but they're also on the other side. Someone's letting it go a little bit sooner each time. So that's just the story between buyers and sellers. And if that is to pan out, a lot of times it's the bottom line that breaks. Unless it's descending, then it'll be the, obviously the top one. It'll just be the inverse right there. So if that were to pan out, you'd see it probably bounce out of that zone. So we'll keep that up there. It's the Russell, so luckily for us, it's not one too terribly traded or watched, and it's not the fastest mover either. That being said, Tesla, come on. All right, so Elon bought $1 billion worth of his shares, went right up to 1 standard deviation, and did pull back. What a ride for this one, especially for the TSLL crew. So we have the 18 sold. Yeah, how I'm stuttering right now, that's what I was thinking this morning when I woke up and saw that. It's like, are you kidding me right now?